Okay, today we're going to do some position review on some photographs that someone has sent in to us. So let's get started. Hi there everybody, my name is Laura and thank you for watching another video. If it's your first time here and you like to improve your riding, would like to win more ribbons at your next horse show, or you generally like other horsey related stuff, then start right now by subscribing to this video. Just click the subscribe button and also the little bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Now let's get started. So today's picture, we have this horse and rider combination, and you can see that the quality of the photo isn't that great, but you know what? It doesn't matter. We can still see the position. And if you would like to have your own position reviewed, then please feel free to send in a video, short video, not too long, a video or a couple pictures, and I'd love to do a position review and give you some pointers on your position. So first off, I really want to comment on this horse. It looks amazing. It's got a beautiful shiny coat. It's got some muscle on it. It looks so relaxed and calm. I just love the way this horse is reaching out with its head and neck and in a calm, relaxed frame. Well done. And the coat is so shiny. Lots of grooming and care went into this to get that coat like that. But let's look at a position, shall we? So first off, the number one thing that we like to look at when you're riding in a profile type situation is a straight line ear, shoulder, hip, heel. And you can see that this rider has a lovely straight line ear, shoulder, hip, heel, and it goes right from her ear, straight line, shoulder, hip, and then heel. So all the weight comes right down through her body into the saddle and then right down into her heel. Sometimes what you see, people are in a chair seat, and that means that their leg is swinging out in front of them, and that's a big no-no. No chair seat. Chair seat is bad. This is good. Keep the weight down into your heels by pushing the weight down into your heel, but not down and forward. Keep it down, so if somebody came out and took that horse out from underneath you, you would land directly on your feet and in balance. So that's really important to think of as well. Straight line ear, shoulder, and hip, heel, so that you can stay in balance with your horse. Another straight line that I like to show you here is the straight line elbow, hand, horse's mouth. And this is your direct line of communication with the horse. And that's why it's so important to have a straight line elbow, hand, horse's mouth. You don't want your hands too high or too low. And if you have your hands too straight, you get it right from the shoulder to the horse's mouth. And this rider's borderline almost getting the shoulder right in there too. And we don't like that too much. But straight line elbow, hand, horse's mouth. And you can see how much the horse appreciates the soft feel this rider has on her mouth. The horse is reaching down, reaching forward, ears are relaxed, and there's no tension in this horse, and that's really nice to see. So one of the first corrections that we like to talk about right here is the heel position. Your heels have to be down, and this rider has her heels down, but we like to see them down just a little bit more than what she's showing us here today. To help get your heels down, easy solution is to ride in 2-point or jumping type position. That means standing up in your stirrups with your seat over the middle of the saddle, like you're crouching in the saddle, and the weight coming down past your seat, past your legs, into your ankles, so your heels get down into the saddle. If you want more information about how to get your weight down into your heels, there's a look up here for a link to a video that explains how to put your heels down. But the easiest exercise is to stand up in your stirrups, push the weight down into your heels, and you can ride, walk, trot, and canter in that position. And it doesn't matter if you're riding English or Western, you can do it with both. Now, have you seen somebody riding without putting their heels down? Put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you thought about somebody riding without their heels down. Now let's move on. So here we have the rider with their eyes down. Heels down is good. Eyes down, not so good. You must ride with your eyes up. And if your eyes aren't up, the horse, you don't know where you're going, and the horse doesn't know where you're going. Think of it as like riding a bicycle. If you're riding a bicycle, you don't stare down at the handlebars, or do you? Please don't. So if you're looking up and looking forward, you are looking up and looking around the turn to the left or right, and around the turn to the right or left, or whichever way it is for you. the horse can feel that you're turning your head, and just by that simple turn of your head, it helps the horse decide which way you're turning. There's all kinds of other aids that you are using as well, but the first thing that you need to do is look up and look straight ahead, focus where you're going, and then the rest of your body will help the horse turn. Not looking where you're going. This rider's looking at the ground. Maybe she's looking at the mud. Maybe she's looking at her shadow. I'm not sure, but not looking forward. Look up, look forward, and this is particularly helpful when you are in the warm-up ring at a horse show and there's 10 other horses there. If you are not looking up, you are going to run into somebody and they're going to be royally PO'd. Think of it like, have you ever run or saw somebody texting and they have their eyes down and they're texting as they're crossing the street, and you're trying to cross the street and they run into you? Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me. Put it in the comments below if you've seen somebody texting going across the street and they've almost run into you. And that's just like riding your horse with your eyes down. Can't do it. It's not safe. And this is the other thing that I noticed right off the bat, is that the rider has flat hands. And we used to call that piano hands. I'm not sure if you guys call it piano hands or not, because the hands are flat this way. We want to see the hands up, thumbs up, knuckles to the outside, so that it keeps your rest of your body in the correct position. And you can see, because of the flat hands, that her elbows are coming out and her shoulders are slightly rounded forward. So you can see that the flat hands, and once again, the picture isn't that great, but the flat hand, you can see her elbows are kind of stuck out to the side, and that's going to it's making her shoulders rounded slightly forward. Keep your shoulders rounded back, keep your elbows down and relaxed in at your side, and if your elbows are in and relaxed at your side, that's going to put your hands in the correct position. If your hands are flat, you can do this right now with me. If your hands are flat, what automatically happens is your elbows come out. So if your hands are with the thumbs up, your elbows in. But to get your hands flat, your elbows come out. And also what that does, connected to your elbows, is your shoulders round forward. So shoulders back, elbows in, and that will automatically put your hands in the correct riding position. So this is a picture at the trot. And once we're trotting, you can see this rider's heels are down a lot more, and that's a big improvement from the walk position. So you can see that this rider's heel is way down a lot more than it was in the walk picture. So your heels are down. But one thing I want to point out to you is that her elbows are behind her body, behind her waist, which really is kind of odd. And sometimes what happens when you do that, so if I'm sitting up straight here, if I bring my elbows back, what happens sometimes is that because your reins get longer, you bring your hands into your stomach and you curl your upper body forward, and that's kind of bad. But you can see this rider's hands are down and in front of her. We'd like to see them out in front of her another 6 or 8 inches, and we want to see them just in front of the horse's withers there rather than close to the pommel like that. And I think if she shortened her reins, pushed her elbows so that her elbows were near her waist rather than behind her body, you'd see that happening. So that's a big correction that we like for her to do. One thing that you can do to help prevent your elbows from coming back behind you is keep your reins shorter and keep the elbows snugly into your waist with the hands out in front of you. So there you have it. So this is what we'll be doing, is some position corrections. What is your most common correction that your instructor says to you? Is it eyes up? Is it why are your heels up? Push your heels down? Is it correct your diagonal? What is the most common thing that your instructor says to you? I'd like to hear about it. My name is Laura, and thanks for watching this video.